Hello there and welcome back. Thanks for joining me. It is beginning of week number 2. Today is Monday, the 26th of October. It's been an interesting week to say the least. It's been a busy week. My kids have been sick. I've been sick. There's been a lot of kind of tumultuous activity in our house, to say the least. So it's hard to gauge how I did this week. The first 4 days I ate breakfast, which was good. I was really pleased. It was even harder than I anticipated it would be. I did shakes. No, maybe I did 5 days because I did 4 of the Atkins shakes, and I did okay with those as long as I had lots of ice. Usually about 45 minutes to get one down. And I found that if I didn't get up and have a drink of water, and I was actually thirsty, it helped to get it down a little bit more. Also, one day I believe I had a yogurt, and I ate it with a baby spoon, and oh, sorry, I don't like breakfast. I just don't like it. Anyway, it's just too early. I guess, you know what, at 11 o'clock I love it, and somewhere in the world it's breakfast time, right? But I guess that doesn't count. Anyway, as for eating, my eating was okay. I was a little bit more conscious about my choices, just because I woke up and had breakfast, and it sort of changed how my day went. However, with the last 4 days or so, not feeling the best, and with lots of craziness happening, I haven't eaten or drank very much, which isn't good, and I know that. But the thought of food really turned my stomach, which is just such an odd occurrence in my life. As a result, I have lost 11.6 pounds this week, which blows my mind, because I was talking to a friend this morning, Elizabeth, who's starting week 2, and I said, you know what, she said, you may have had a big loss, and I said, yes, but I may not, because sometimes when you don't eat, your body will hold on to everything that it can and sort of go into a fight or flight mode, and I thought that could occur. Anyway, with an 11.6 pound loss this week, there's no doubt that I will not have a good week on the scales next week. And that's okay, as long as it all evens out. Anyway, it does give me the little bit of leeway that I was hoping for, because from the time that I weighed in, my first weigh-in with the surgeon was 296. So I'm down almost 16 pounds from then, which would be great. And if I can get maybe another 5 or 10 off, then that will give me the leeway to go and splurge on my weekend away with my family, and then my weekend away with my husband right after, which will be the 2 weekends before surgery. So I kind of want to have a cushion to be able to gain a little bit there, because I really want to enjoy the Last Supper. Anyway, as for what have I learned this week, the breakfast is even harder than I thought. That I think I probably learned to listen to my body a little bit more. Although it mightn't have been a good thing, because when I listened, I didn't eat, because the thought of anything, even junk food or restaurant food, made me feel sick, and that's just so bizarre. But maybe not a horrible thing. So last night I did have a small piece of steak and a sweet potato, which is really the first substantial thing I've eaten in 4 days. I had a few crackers and a couple of drinks, and not alcohol, just regular drinks, but nothing really of much substance. Been reading this week. One of my concerns with the weight loss is, one of the things that I heard is that there is a high percentage of divorce with weight loss surgery patients. I really believe that knowledge is power, and that we can't deal with anything unless we know what the problem is. So I think that the fact that my husband and I know this before the surgery, I think that that's really helpful. I think we know what to watch for. I think that we'll, be on top of things much more quickly, knowing potentially, what road we could go down. The reason that you hear this, I guess some people sort of turn over a whole new leaf and start a new life, and they just don't feel like their spouse is part of that anymore. and I don't want that to happen. So we've talked about it, I've posted about it, I've got some great responses about it, and overall sort of the summary would be that if you have a rocky marriage to start, then it will probably break it. If you have a strong marriage to start, it will make it stronger. So I really, really hope that we're in the strong marriage category, which I think we are for the most part, and that we will just become stronger. The other thing that I questioned was, anyway, I won't get into that. You can read it on the board. All's well, my company's gone. Life is a little bit more normal. I miss having people here, but scheduling is, I guess, something I need to work on, and I have to get into sort of a routine that I will be able to live with forever. So, week 2 at 280.8. This week I am going to work on water along with breakfast. I still am going to try breakfast, but I'm going to add water. Now, I do drink water anyway, and I haven't had pop, I don't think, in 4 days. So that's not a horrible thing. Should I stop or? I don't know. We'll talk about that later. But it mightn't be a bad time to stop, but I love my Diet Coke. Or Diet Pepsi. I'm really kind of back and forth these days, which is odd. So I'm going to add water. Now, I drink most of my water with meals, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. I'm going to, I think for this week, just try to get my water in. And I think I'll put a jug in the fridge and with 64 ounces and try to just plug away at that and see how it goes. And then next week or another week, then I'll work on not having it maybe the hour after meals or with meals, and sort of do baby steps, one thing at a time. Anyway, I hope you all had a good week. Very excited to have you along. Thanks for the comments. Lots of my comments came through email and Facebook, so I may at some point transfer these over. I hope that doesn't upset anyone. But I really want to have it all together for times that I may be having a more difficult time or need the extra support, then I can come here and read it. Take care from now. See you next week, and have a great week. See ya.